Chapter 7. The Tower of Wisdom. Leaving the Spring of Compassion, Leo felt as if his soul had been cleansed. He was no longer just the boy who wished for his desires to come true, but a traveler who was beginning to understand the deeper meaning and responsibility behind a wish. His wooden token now bore 4 gleaming words: honesty, courage, responsibility, and compassion. Each word shimmered in his heart like a story he'd lived. The path ahead grew tougher. Towering rock walls rose like gates to the sky, and jagged stones paved the mountain trail. The wind howled like an ancient whisper. He gritted his teeth, using his hands and feet to navigate through the obstacles. When he finally stepped onto a rugged, rocky ridge, the clouds parted instantly, revealing an ancient structure before him. It was a stone tower, soaring into the clouds, its body spiraling like a dragon. Layers of subtly glowing runes covered its surface, as if holding centuries of wisdom within them. Lightning flickered around the tower's peak, making it seem as though the tower itself possessed a mind. This was the Tower of Wisdom. A clear breeze carried a familiar voice. Ithas's tone was deep and solemn. This tower will challenge you. Only those who truly understand how to think and reflect can pass. Remember, wisdom is not about having all the answers, but about courage and humility when facing the unknown. The tower door silently opened, and a faint scent of ink and parchment wafted out. Leo stepped inside. In that moment, Lowell quietly appeared in the corner by the doorway, like a shadow. It softly sniffed the air, a serious and respectful glint in its eyes, then vanished like mist into the tower's depths. Inside the tower, the light was dim and golden. Each level felt like an ancient secret library, its walls lined with strange symbols and codes. The air pulsed with the quiet hum of knowledge. First level. Logic, a shimmering question appeared on the wall. You have only 1 rope and 1 torch. How can you accurately measure 45 minutes? Leo frowned, deep in thought. His heartbeat echoed clearly in the silence. A logic puzzle he'd read in a library once flashed in his mind. He murmured, "Light both ends of the first rope and simultaneously light one end of the second rope. When the first rope burns out, that's 30 minutes. Then immediately light the other end of the second rope. The remaining 15 minutes will burn out at the same time." The wall instantly glowed with a soft white light. The entire room seemed to expand like it was breathing, and then stone steps materialized, leading him upward. Lull quietly leaped onto the stairs, its tail tracing silver arcs in the air. Second level, philosophy. The air on this level felt heavier. A question slowly appeared on the wall. If a tree falls in a forest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? Leo paused, stunned. He walked to the window. Outside, a vast sea of clouds met silent mountains, so still that even the wind seemed to have stopped. He looked back at the question and whispered, "Sound is a vibration. Even if no one hears it, it still exists. But if no one perceives it, it's just a physical phenomenon. The key to this question isn't the sound itself, but whether we're willing to think about the meaning of existence and perception." The wall glowed golden, as if resonating with his answer, and the stone steps reappeared. Lull sat quietly at the turn of the stairs, its ears twitching slightly, as if listening to the wind. It looked at Leo, a hint of, "You're starting to get it," in its eyes, then flicked its tail and continued upwards. Third level, self-reflection. This level had only an ancient mirror in its center. The mirror reflected a familiar yet strange figure, his past self, the stubborn, avoidant Leo, who only wanted to wish without wanting to change. A sentence appeared on the mirror's surface. "Can you accept your own ignorance and mistakes?" Leo held his breath. He walked step by step towards the mirror, looking at that old self, those thoughts that once shamed him, those choices he'd hidden in the dark. After a moment, he slowly nodded, a light appearing in his eyes. "These mistakes are what helped me grow. If I hadn't fallen, how could I have learned to stand up? Without mistakes, there's no chance to look up at the stars." As his words faded, the mirror shattered, dissolving into a sky full of golden light. The light particles floated in the air like stars, weaving together to form the 5th symbol, wisdom. His wooden token shimmered with a soft golden glow, pulsing in sync with his heartbeat, as if heaven and earth were quietly applauding this moment. The tower gate finally opened, and a stone path stretched towards the mountain peak. The setting sun cast its last rays through the clouds, drawing Leo's shadow long. But in his eyes, a clarity and determination he'd never known ignited. Because he understood that wisdom wasn't about accumulating answers, but about being willing to face problems and not running from himself. Lull appeared beside him, standing shoulder to shoulder at the tower's entrance. It looked up at the sky, and a silvery white rainbow bridge slowly descended from the clouds. The bridge shimmered with crystal-like light, as if the entire celestial realm was paving the way for Leo. The whole forest held its breath, everything silent except for the faint trembling of leaves and the drifting of light particles. Soft music began to play from an unknown place, like a song from the stars. The 5 words on his wooden token resonated and gleamed, and the gate to the 6th trial was slowly opening at the far end of the Rainbow Bridge.